Let's just open the photo we want to edit in Photoshop. Click on Open Image. Our first step will be to remove major spots from subject's face. So step 1, spot removal. Create a new layer so that we won't harm the actual image during the process. After that, select the healing brush tool Make sure you select current and below and press Alt or Option key on Mac to sample the area and just paint on spots. Let's fast forward this process a bit. So now we can see the before and after. Let's move to the next step, frequency separation. For this method, press Command Option Shift E on Mac and Control Alt Shift E on Windows to merge all visible layers into a new layer, and let's name this layer Color, and press Command or Control J to duplicate the layer and name this layer Texture. Turn off the texture layer so that we can see any changes made to the color layer. Click on Filters, Blur, Gaussian Blur, bring down the radius to 0 and gradually increase till you lose the texture of the skin. Click OK. Turn on the texture layer, then click on Image, Apply Image, select the layer that you want to subtract, which is Color, Blending Mode, Subtract. Turn off the Preserve Transparency and Offset should be 128. Press OK. Change the blend mode to linear light. Select both layer and press Ctrl or Command G. Name this group as frequency separation. So now create a new layer between color and texture layer. Select a brush tool and keep the brush flow as possible as low. Press Alt or Option to sample the color and paint. We want to sample as many as time possible to even out the skin color. Just keep sampling and keep painting. Remember, brush flow should be as low as possible. Let's fast forward this process again. To make it more natural, adjust the opacity of the group. And here is the before and after. Step 3. Dodge and burn. Click on Curves Adjustment layer, name it Dodge, and create another curve layer, name it Burn. Now select both layers and press Command or Ctrl G to group them. Let's name that group as Dodge and Burn. Double click on Dodge layer. Bring up the curves until you lose the details from the highlighted area. Now turn off the Dodge layer and double click on Burn layer. Bring down the curve until you lose the details from dark area. Get back to the Dodge layer and press Command or Ctrl I to inverse the layer. Select the brush tool and paint the area where you think it should be highlighted. Let's fast forward this again. And now this is the before and after. Now double click on the right side of the layer, or you can right click and select blending option to open layer style. So now we want to take away the highlights from the dark area. To do this, move the slider towards the right side. You can see the difference. But this is looking so harsh. Press and hold Option key and break the slider. Move it towards the left. Click on OK. You can see the difference before and after. Select the burn layer and press Ctrl or Command I to inverse the layer and start painting where you think it should be the dark. Now let's fast forward this again. And here is the before and after. We will follow the same process to take away the shadows from highlighted area. You can see the final dodge and burn effect. To make it more natural, adjust the opacity. Always remember to play with opacity to make it more natural. Moving on to the next step. Eyes and lip enhance. Create a new curves adjustment layer and bring the curve all the way up. Press Ctrl or Command I to invert the layer. Select Brush tool, increase the flow all the way up and paint on eyeball where you think it should be highlighted. Adjust the opacity, you know what for. Now let's retouch the lips. Select the pen tool and make a selection around the lips. Right click inside the selection and click on Make Selection. Click on OK and create a new layer. To make adjustment outside the selection, right click and select Inverse. Now select Stamp tool. Make sure you select blend mode to be normal. Press Alt or Option to take a sample and start stamping outside the selection. To stamp the inside of the selection, right click and select Inverse, then take a sample from nearest area and start stamping. While doing so, we can also hide the selection temporarily by pressing Ctrl or Command H. Click Hide Extras. And play with the opacity a little bit. And here's the difference. You can press and hold Alt or Option key and toggle eye of a background layer to see the difference we made from the beginning. So now let's just adjust the exposure and make our subject stand out. For that, create a new curves adjustment layer, and if you want to delete the points from the line, just drag them outside the box, just like that. Now just adjust the exposure a little bit. Press Command or Ctrl I to inverse the layer. Select a brush tool and paint to create a drama in a frame. As usual, adjust the opacity. Step 5. This step is optional. So now create a new layer of all visible layers by pressing Command Option Shift E, Command J to duplicate the layer. Turn off the copy of layer. Select Filters, Blur, Gaussian Blur. Adjust the radius until you lose the texture. For the copy layer, go to Filter, Others, High Pass. Select the radius same as the radius of Gaussian blur layer. Click OK. Change the blending option to the soft light. Group both the layers. Now select the group and click on Mask button. Press Command or Ctrl I to inverse the mask layer. Select the brush tool and paint with the white color on the subject's skin. Adjust the opacity a little bit. Create a new merged layer. This time you know how. Select Filters, Others, High Pass. Adjust the radius until you start to see the texture. Change the blend mode to the linear light. You can adjust the opacity to how sharp the image you want. For me, this is okay. Let's just see the difference from where we started. Now let's add the vignette to the image. Create a solid layer and select black color. Click OK. And paint with the white brush on the layer. Adjust opacity. Let's just add a final touch using level adjustments. Here is a before and after. And now without optional skin smoothing before and after. And we are done.